Good morning, Eastern Oregon, and welcome to this July 19th version of AM Live on EOA, your connection to Eastern Oregon. Glad you're here.
What's up?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Second Monday. When I got here, I really thought it was Thursday.
Did it just feel that way?
Yeah. I walked in next door, and the lady that works next door was like, "How are you today?" I was like, "It's Thursday." She's like, "No, it's Tuesday." I was like,
Oh, man.
Dang it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how are things, man?
Great. We had LeGrand had a kind of a busy weekend sports wise. I mean, let's just kick right into sports and get it out.
All right.
So the LeGrand Little League 911U girls softball team won districts, and they will play in the state tournament this weekend. Here's some pictures that I don't even know who sent me these. Honestly, I just get emails from people and messages. But they'll play this weekend in Portland at the Portland Community College Rock Creek campus. The first game will be Friday at 7:30 p.m. and they plan on streaming it, I believe, on the LeGrand Little League page, and then on the on Game Changer. And I have the link up in our feed so you can check it out. Here's a picture of them after they won their districts. And then also the junior girls, they won the state championship, and they're getting ready to head to the West Region, which is in Tucson, Arizona, July 21st through the 28th, and they're asking for some help with fundraising. They have a GoFundMe account set up, and I posted it on our page, and I'll post a link right here in the comments as well. So there's that. And then this weekend, LeGrand Legacy Legion team season came to an end, unfortunately. They were down some players. They had some injuries. The game, it was a 3-game series to see who got to go play in the state championship over in North Marion, and unfortunately, they won the first one and lost the second two. I took some pictures like I usually do. I'm a fan of catchers, so this is Cesar Rodriguez there. This is Kai Carson, the younger brother, and he's a state champion wrestler too. And then first team All-State pitcher Jay Scow, and then finally Jarrett Armstrong, which I played with his dad, which is kind of cool. It's always cool. There's a couple guys on the Legion team where I played with their dads. Yeah, that makes me feel really old too, by the way. And then don't forget Moonlight, August 5th through 7th, which I won't be going. I just realized that. I would love to go watch it, but that's the same weekend as
we're kind of busy then.
Yeah, we're a little busy. So August 5th through 7th, go to legrandparks.org or call tournament director Jeff Hamilton. The phone number's up there. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be busy that weekend for us, so I won't be catching no Moonlight.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, that's the weekend that we do the Shrine football game in Baker City. So we're prepared. We've been preparing for that for all year since it finished last year.
This year's going to be so much easier though than last year.
Right.
I mean, it's like, once you learn how to ride the bike, getting on the bike the second time, you don't fall down as many times.
Not as many.
Right?
Right.
Yeah. Which I don't think we really fell down a lot anyways. I think we did really good.
No, I felt like we were about 95% of our goal.
Yeah.
So
we grinded it. I
felt very good about what we did.
Yeah. I was happy with the outcome, and I think that the people watching and the Shriners were happy with it too.
Yeah. So and talk to them about advertising for.
So if you're a business and you want to advertise, this game is shown. I mean, it's going to be streamed all over the state. It's going to be on their website, our social media accounts, our YouTube, and the opportunity is great because not only will it be pretty prevalent here in LeGrand as we have a player, but every region and every town where one of the kids comes from, which is all over the state of Oregon, people will be watching it. So there's an opportunity for that. So you can email me, Kyle@eoalive.tv, or you can message me if you know me, or message BC, and we can get you hooked up with an opportunity. Well, right now, the best thing would be for you to have something pre-made or just have mentions, because we won't have time to make anything in the next 2 weeks. No way.
Right. No. But great exposure.
Great exposure.
Event.
And not super expensive either.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Well, cool. Well, let's see. It's pretty out there today.
It's gonna be a hot one.
Let's see what Gabe has to say about the weather.
Heading into today on Tuesday, we are warming up, but not overly hot for much of our region. Low to mid 90s up towards the north, mid 80s in Meacham, while we are hotter out towards the south into the upper 90s with some scattered clouds the second half of the day out that way. Heading into the day on Tuesday for LeGrand, it does look like this. We'll start out into the mid 60s at 9 o'clock, making up into lower 90s by the 3 o'clock hour. Abundantly clear all day. Southerly winds in the morning will change to the northwesterly by the evening, but generally light winds are expected, only gusting up to 20 miles per hour in spots the second half of the day. Heading into my short-term forecast for the Grand Round Valley, checking a high of about 91 for Tuesday, drop into the upper 50s overnight, repeat on Wednesday.
So mid 90s today.
Low 90s.
Low 90s. So 91.
But it could be way worse. It could be rainy.
Yeah. Man, it's beautiful this morning, though.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Yeah, really cool and just gorgeous weather.
I'm okay with 90 too.
I get a little I mean 90 gets to where I don't want to be outside much.
Well, I don't see. I'll take it in spurts.
Yeah.
If you can, like watching sports, if you can find shade,
right,
like a nice little shady spot, and it's 90, it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I was out there. I took pictures, which there's no shade for that.
Right.
But just moving back and forth, I hung out in the tailgating zone for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't usually go out there, but I went out there on Sunday. Yeah.
Where's the tailgating zone?
It's like out in the left field corner. Yeah.
Is that where the unofficial beer garden is?
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah.
It was fun. Well, I had a good time out there. Yeah.
So it's funny. We did a family thing on Sunday night out at my in-laws' house, and they have a little concrete patio with a pergola over the top of it, and we're sitting there, and all of a sudden this little garter snake comes, and it's just a little teeny thing, really cute. I mean, we're all going like, oh, cute, and so I reached over. I was going to go over and pick it up, and reached over to pick it up, and man, it coiled up, started shaking its little tail, and it was a little baby rattler.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been smart.
No,
They don't know how to control their venom.
No, I know. Yeah.
That's worse than getting bit by an adult.
I know. It was. I had never experienced something like that. It was kind of funny. I mean,
you'd have been hurting.
I'd have been hurt. Yeah, I felt that same way. It's like, so yeah. Then once you got to look at it, like, it was trying to shake his tail. His head was a little broader than a garter. Yeah, like I had never seen a baby rattler. So
I don't. I mean, I've held a snake before, but they stink, man.
Yeah.
You get it on your hands, and it's like that musty. I'm not a fan of that. I mean, I'm not afraid of snakes, but I'm not a fan of holding them. When I went outside today from my house, a skunk sprayed somewhere real close.
Yeah.
It was bad. It was bad.
Yeah. These days, there's not a lot of different. I mean, between a skunk and someone smoking pot, like next door or whatever the case.
Yeah, you can't really.
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell.
A skunk has a stronger. I mean, it's
It's more chemicals.
Yeah.
It's terrible. When I was a kid, I used to come here, in the summertime. Live with my aunt and uncle in the summer. And I must have been like 6 or 7 years old, and up on Pumpkin Ridge. And I caught a rosy boa. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's a snake, but it looks kind of like a pink worm.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, it was about yay big. And I had to keep it for a pet, right?
Right.
Well, it got free. It got loose in the house. We could not find it. And then all of a sudden there was something stinking. And then the refrigerator started acting up.
Oh.
Well, it had gotten up in the coils and died. back behind the refrigerator. And that's not the best story about my childhood doing something stupid there. We went to Rob Beck's house. I don't know if I've told you this story before, but we were helping him castrate and brand. And I thought the ball sack, like the sack, was cool. I was going to make coin purses out of them. So I collected them, right? And I put them in this box, this square, real rectangular long box.
Goodness, yes.
And I filled it full of ball sacks. And I put it in the mudroom.
And forgot about it?
Yeah, time goes by, and there's this horrible smell, right?
Right.
Out in the mudroom. My uncle pulled up the floor of the mudroom because he thought something was dead
underneath.
And then eventually he found this box with all these just decaying scrotums in it. And man, I thought he was going to kill me.
I can imagine. So how old were you then?
Like 6 or 7. I was going to make coin purses. I thought they were, like, I don't know. Yeah. Weird, huh? Very weird.
Little coin. I want to keep those.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you're ever out on Pumpkin Ridge, there's still a sign there up on the very top of Pumpkin Ridge. You'd have to look for it. I know where it's at, but there's a big, huge pile of rocks, and there's a wooden sign that says Kyle's Pile.
I've never been up on top of Pumpkin Ridge.
Yeah.
I mean,
I spent a lot of time up there when I was a kid.
Just recently, it was about a year ago, I took some really beautiful drone footage of it was this time of the year, or just beautiful. But can you see pretty well? I mean, can you?
There's a lot of trees,
right?
I mean, so it's mainly foresty, like at least the area where I was at when I was a kid. Yeah. But they used to run their sheep up there, my aunt and uncle, and spent a lot of time up there. Yeah. A lot of time on Murphy, the old jackass. I rode him every day.
Really?
Yeah.
Man.
Me and him were best friends.
Wow. And he would cooperate?
Yeah. Yeah. He bucked me off one time.
Yeah. And he was a donkey.
Yeah,
he wasn't a mule.
He was a donkey.
Wow.
Yeah, but he was cool. He was like old and he was just pretty chill. And
yeah.
I rode him bareback.
Huh.
Yeah.
We had they are pretty chill. I mean, and they don't have much bucking ability. He
did buck me though one time. He got something scared him and he just threw me right off the back. I was just little. I was only like, well, I was never little. Let me rephrase. I was young. I was like 6 or 7. I want to say right around there. Yeah. We were talking about like work ethic nowadays. Like so I was at the barbershop and this farmer was in there and he's like, yeah, I had this college kid and he had made it about 4 hours and I see him and he's sitting there crying and he's like, I can't do it. Like, this is too hard. And I haven't looked at my phone in 4 hours. And the guy, and I'm just sitting there thinking like, dude, like what's happened to people? Yeah. Like, you haven't looked at your phone in 4 hours and you're crying because you haven't looked at, and you actually and he was 4 hours into a 10-hour day. You're in trouble if you're at that point.
Yeah. You're not going to make it.
No, you ain't making it. Not on a farm. No way.
Yeah.
No, it's just crazy. I was thinking about that because like when I was younger, we'd go out and change pipe, then build fence, and then, like oil the barn all in one, that was just a normal day. In your hand, we changed pipe by hand.
Well, yeah. And I was the same way. And there was no sense of like when the day began and the day ended.
No, it begins when the sun's up. Yeah. It ends when the sun's down.
Yeah. Yeah. Or if grandma or mom interrupts it with dinner and then,
or lunch. Yeah. Like, and there wasn't a way that we didn't have cell phones.
Right.
So it was like, okay, maybe or Aunt Nancy would come down, or come down on the 4-wheeler and say, hey, I got food ready, or bring it down.
Right. Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, don't even get me started.
But from that point, you didn't even carry a watch. You didn't have any idea what time it was. I mean, I didn't.
No, I've never wore a
watch. When I was working with my dad, the only time he carried a watch, and so then that's the only way you knew that. Yeah,
it's time to.
Or wherever the sun might be. It's like, it's getting a little lower in the sky. It's cooling down. It must be toward the end of the day. Yeah. No.
Yeah, and it was like a special occasion to like go out, like take a break and go I mean? Like go to go to the auction. Like auction day was like the best because you knew you got to like actually leave for a while and go do something fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you get paid when you did that? Did they pay you an hourly wage?
Paid, yeah, once I was old enough to actually work. Yeah. Like 13.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I worked a summer, I think I was 15. I worked a summer out at the potato farm on the conveyor belt picking rotten potatoes.
Yeah. See, I've never done that.
And rotten potatoes stink. It's a unique smell.
I learned the other day, and I learned this because we had some rotten potatoes at our house. You can die from poison.
Oh,
I mean,
really?
rotten potatoes put out a vapor that's poisonous.
Huh, it stinks.
Yeah,
it definitely
yeah.
stinks.
And in fact, it was Tanya was going to make some salad or something. She picked up the sack and took it in the kitchen, and I mean, she was sick the rest of the day.
Yeah, it makes it. I mean, you're sitting there picking these rotten things, just gagging.
Yeah.
That was fun. I was loaded when I was like 15. I had a lot of money.
See, and I was that same way when I was we had a lawn business, and then we would work, and yeah, to figure out that disposable income. I mean, that was the thing. It was like, oh, I work, and yeah, my brother and I figured out that we could earn money doing stuff, and it was like, yeah, it was a game changer.
Yeah, and then when I turned 16, I went to work at KFC.
Okay.
For Bob Bedard, and I think I've told you this. The same manager. My mom worked there when we lived here for like 6 months when I was like 5.
Uh-huh.
My mom worked there when I was 5.
Yeah.
Same manager.
Yeah.
When I was 16, I worked there. Same manager. Last time I went through KFC,
yeah.
Same manager.
Yeah. I wonder
That's a long time to be the manager.
It is. Bob sold that business just recently.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I don't know and in fact it was they changed the prices and the menu, and I mean it's somebody who owns a lot of KFCs.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of like Napa Automotive here. Napa was owned by, I think his name was Monty.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he owned it and for years, and he sold it a few years ago. And
I helped lay the tile in KFC too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was working there.
Yeah. So
and the guy came in and he was like, I need somebody, I could use a hand, tonight overnight and I was like, teach me. Like, let's go.
No, I got
to work with the best looking girl too at KFC. Oh my, it was heaven. Chicken Littles and the best looking girl. It was like
you were good.
Yeah, I was good. Yeah. The worst part about it, and I never had bad acne. Like I never had issues with it. Yeah. But when you work in KFC and you're the cook, which that's what I was.
Right.
You get a lot of grease on you.
Oh yeah, I would imagine
it's a greasy job, and there's flour everywhere. So I battled with acne during the time that I worked there, but not bad. I mean, it was just one of the drawbacks.
Right. Yeah.
You know how you clean the floor in there?
Uh-uh.
So it's all tile, right?
Right.
And there's drains in the floor.
Right.
Well, you wet it down and you take degreaser and then you scrub it and then you just spray the entire floor and spray it all
into the drain and yeah.
And then the big pressure cooker, right? Because KFC's cooked under pressure and oil.
Right. Yeah.
Well, the filter is at the bottom of it, and you drop the oil, pump it back up in. Well, part of the gravy recipe is some of that stuff out of the, which I mean makes sense. I mean that's how you make gravy and
right. That's how my mom used to make gravy. Yeah.
Yep. And then you don't know any of the ingredients. Like the flour comes already
pre-mixed and everything.
Yeah. You just dump it into. There's these big tables with bins, and the bin has a little hole in it. You do the chicken, and then you open the little plug in the hole, and you turn it on, and you push the flour through, and it sifts it and gets all the crap out of it, and you got fresh flour again.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. It's crazy. Yeah, that was a fun job. I actually enjoyed. That was the fast food job I enjoyed. I worked at Burger King too when I was like 17, 18. That was fun too, but not near as fun as KFC. KFC was. Yeah.
So what'd you think about the whole law enforcement activities on Sunday? What a mess that was, huh?
I messaged my buddy and I said, "Are you on administrative leave?" And he said, "No, I wish."
Yeah. No, it's kind of funny. So my in-laws own Valley Realty, and they're the ones that own that building that muzzleloaders and more was in. And so I got a call, was like, "Hey, there's a break-in down there and the owner's trying to patch the door. Can you go down there and help?" And so then, and we'd heard all the sirens go by, and I knew something was going on out in Elgin, And so I go over there and it's like, oh, I mean, there's a state cop there and a sheriff's officer. And then it's kind of like, oh yeah, this is where the whole mess began, And for those of you that might not know, these three
yahoos,
bandits,
yeah.
these three yahoos, they broke into muzzleloaders. This is all, none of this has been proven, but this is pretty close to that. I think what the story is, they broke into muzzleloaders and more the night before. And so then the owner was notified that that there was a break-in. So he goes down there and he's cleaning up, and they show up again.
Like, why would you go back to a gun store first off?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Like, I mean, if you own a gun store, you probably have a gun.
Yeah.
And the dude's my side. I mean, he's
right.
a monster. He's a big dude.
Yeah, they call him Bull. I mean, that's not his name is Matt or Mark or
I don't know his name, but
I think it's Matt. Anyhow, and so then they take off and head out towards Elgin. Bad guys head out towards Elgin, and as they're going along, they shoot. Somebody's shooting at the cop that's following them. Yeah, and eventually they end up out in the Elgin area, and
they got spike stripped.
They got spiked, so they abandon the car, and two guys and a girl.
One of them got away though.
One of them, yeah. The last I had heard, I haven't followed recently.
At least nobody got hurt. That's the best thing. I mean, property is replaceable, whatever, but at least nobody got hurt.
No, I tell you, the first time my son-in-law is on the deputy force, and he was an active part of searching for them, and that's just a scary situation. That is. I mean, when somebody is running away from you and you're looking for them and they have a gun, in this particular, I mean, at least they knew they had one gun, or one of them had a gun. I mean, it's pretty simple potatoes to hide behind a rock when somebody's looking for you and pop out and shoot someone. Yeah.
And when I think about it, I probably had like 4 or 5 people that I consider friends out there looking for these people. And the best part of it is nobody got hurt.
It was. Yeah. And it was a huge, I guess somehow they put out a call to all of Oregon, like, hey, if you're available.
I heard there was a law
to law enforcement. Yeah, there were. Somebody said there were only over 50 police vehicles
and an airplane and a helicopter.
Yeah.
How'd this guy get away?
Yeah.
Maybe he just holed up somewhere and just still sitting there.
Well, I bet they're out there still looking for him.
They'll have to come out event. I mean, they'll find them.
They'll
find them eventually.
Yeah.
They're usually stupid enough. Obviously, they're stupid enough to go back to the gun.
Yeah, I just still can't get my head around that, And if you were, why wouldn't you?
Drugs are bad. Okay,
is that the deal? Yeah. So you
I
go.
would imagine.
So you go get the guns to get more drugs, then you get high, and then you wake up later on and go like,
"Hey, it's probably
we need to go
let's
back.
do a little more drugs," and it'd probably be a good idea to go back to a gun shop where the guy probably has a gun and he's probably twice your size. Yeah, great idea.
Yeah, well, and not only but his family was there. His family members were there helping and cleaning up and so on and so forth. Yeah, and some of them were armed.
Yeah,
and so
people are.
Yeah. What goes through someone's head when they do that kind of thing? I guess that's my error is that I try and make sense of it. And
no, but you can't make sense.
No, if you're on drugs, then all reason and judgment is out the door.
Yeah, and that's just an assumption. We don't know that.
Right.
I mean,
right.
But I mean, that's the most likely assumption. I mean, because people that aren't on drugs don't usually do
Make really
like
stupid
that.
stupid decisions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them do, but not as common.
No. No. And
So-
I heard, like last week, I heard from a cop here in town that there is a lot of meth and heroin here right now, like a lot, like more than normal.
Huh.
Yeah.
What a shame that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're
We
really
can't even do anything.
no, they're
Really?
really struggling. Law enforcement is really they've kind of been put in a hole.
Sucks.
Yeah.
BC, did you know that humans shed 200 million skin cells an hour? Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. Where's that all go? When
I
you're
don't know.
inside?
Yeah, you would think that there would be a trail wherever
Yeah,
you go.
200 million. All right, let's play a game, BC. We're going to do some trivia.
Okay.
These are you smarter than a fifth grader questions? And this is the fifth grade level.
Hey, well, you want to
Wait, what level do you want? Do you want kindergarten through fifth? You get to choose.
How about fourth grade?
Okay, let's go fourth grade. What
Fourth-
do you want? Math, history, English,
Let's do math. Let's do history.
history, fourth
Yeah.
grade.
For
All
history,
right.
fourth grade.
You ready?
Okay. Yep. Nope. But yes.
What ancient civilization built the Machu Picchu complex in Peru?
I want to say Aztec.
No. The Incas.
Incas. Okay.
All right. Who paid for Christopher Columbus's exploration?
It was a queen, wasn't it?
Of what country?
Spain.
Yeah, boom. So you're 1 for 2.
Okay.
Name 2 of Columbus's 3 ships.
Santa Maria. Is that one of
That's
them?
one.
That's all I got.
The Nina and
Nina.
the Pinta.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
The Battle of Gettysburg was fought in which war?
Civil War.
Yeah, that's an easy one.
Yeah.
All right, let's try. Who wrote the national anthem of the United States of America? I wouldn't have got this.
No,
one.
and it was. I know this name, but I couldn't
Francis Scott Key.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's all right. Yeah.
All right, let's go to math real fast.
Okay.
What grade level?
Just stay with fourth.
4th grade?
Yeah.
The interior angles of a triangle always add up to what?
The interior angles of a
of a
triangle always add up to well, so if you have a 45, they've got to add up to 90.
No, 180.
180. Okay.
180.
All right.
If a train leaves the station and travels at 60 miles per hour, how much time will have passed when it arrives at a station 300 miles away?
60 miles an hour. So yeah.
300 miles away.
So 60 goes into 300. 60 goes 5 times, right?
5 hours.
Yeah.
You got it. Yeah, you did pretty good. Let's do English real fast. And then
Oh man, English.
Yeah. 4th grade English. A story conveying a moral lesson is called what? Aesop had a whole book of them.
A fable.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That was a.
What's the main character in a story called?
Is it the protagonist?
Boom, 2 for 2.
Okay.
Which is an example of alliterative language? Alliterative language. The ocean glistened as the day turned to night, or the sea shimmered with the sinking sun.
2, the second one.
It doesn't give an answer, but I think you're right. Yeah. Which is a type of poem? A graph, a sonnet, or an essay?
A sonnet.
Yeah, you did good. That was good. You're smarter than a fourth grader.
You know what's funny is so Ashley O'Toole really was on the show. Are you smarter than a fifth grader?
I remember that, and we asked him questions.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he was on the show not too long ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I would not want to be on that show. I don't remember stuff like. I mean, I can do math easy.
Yeah, you're good at math.
But like, I don't remember history. I've never been a real history buff.
You know, it's funny.
Happened. Why do I? You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't there.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I mean, as a kid, I was bored by history. I was like, what was the point and stuff?
Yeah,
but
why do I need to know all this stuff?
But as an adult, I'm fascinated by it. You know, and I grew up in Wyoming, and Wyoming history. I mean, that's taught in the fourth grade. That's a big third and fourth grade. That's a big thing that you learn. You know, and at the time, I was like, what? You know. But it's really interesting. Now I listen to some of these podcast stories of the Old West. And of course, when you're in Wyoming, then I traveled to many, you know, I mean, you traveled through Wyoming and camped and hunted and fished and so on and so forth. And so now when I listen to these stories of the Old West, they talk about landmarks and places where I've actually been, but they're the stories that happened in the mid 1800s. Really fascinating. So anyhow, so it's like, so I'm way more interested in history than I ever was before.
Speaking of Wyoming, Andrew Peasley is going to be on my sports show, either the end of this week or next week. And his dad invited me to go to the game at BYU.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's the closest game of the year to LeGrand. And we're going to try to put together like a couple vans.
A group of going. Yeah. So for those of you that don't know, Andrew Peasley has probably been the most successful recent football player that we've had come out of LHS, right?
Definitely.
And he's playing for University
of
Wyoming.
Cowboys.
Yeah.
He's a Cowboy. He transferred from Utah State to Wyoming. The Wyoming quarterback transferred to Utah State.
So is he going to start for sure this year? You don't know. Yeah, that's kind of the presumption.
Presumed, yes. Yeah. So we'll get to go watch him at BYU. Where is BYU? Salt Lake?
Yeah.
No, Ogden.
Right, but I mean, it's
right there, right?
Yeah, Ogden is. Yeah,
I've never been to their stadium before. That'll be it.
I haven't either.
That'll be fun.
So, is Wyoming very good?
They're not like top ranked, but they're not horrible. They're a D1. They compete.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. They're about like Utah State. Utah State had a really good year last year.
Yeah.
But they're good.
Yeah.
And then if you guys want to go back on the EOA Live timeline, I interviewed the East Shrine coach, Eric Davis from Pendleton, which Pendleton is dropping down into 4A, into our league this coming year. So the rivalry will be rekindled. They were our rival when I was in high school. So I made sure and wore this hat. And his audio sucked, but it's a really good interview.
So they're for sure, they will for sure be in
our league now.
Wow.
They're part of the GOL.
Wow.
Which just adds a little bit. I mean, the GOL is still really weak. I mean, but Pendleton.
Right.
Pendleton made the playoffs last year as a 5A team. They lost in the first round to my son's team. Actually.
So they definitely will. They will add competition to.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, in all sports, really. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to be able, and I hate to say this, but I don't think anybody's going to be able to compete with Baker in basketball for the next. Oh, it's in Provo. Todd said it's in Provo. I don't think anybody's going to be able to compete with Baker in basketball for about the next 5 years, 4 or 5 years.
They've got a really strong team.
Really good. Yep. And we have a new coach. His last name is Brooks. Yeah.
Oh,
Corolla's out. Brooks is in. He was the assistant. I think his first name's Tyson. Maybe. I don't know. Todd would probably know. But yeah, we got a new basketball coach, and football's right around the corner too for LeGrand. We'll see what happens. We were talking at the Legion game with, most of those dads out there have kids that are going to be seniors that play football too, and the big question right now is who the running back's going to be. So. Because there's no like junior that's going to be a senior this coming year that was a running back.
Huh.
So we're gonna have to figure that out.
Huh.
Yeah, but we have all the kids, from that little league team, the state, that group of juniors. That's a really solid class of athletes coming back. But we lose, like Brody, the running back.
Right.
He went to EOU, and so that'll be the big spot to fill in the summer and try to figure that out for us.
Yeah, and he was a great athlete.
Yeah, he's toughest kid.
Yeah.
Everybody I've ever talked to, toughest kid they ever met.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's a great quality if you're a running back because you get hit a lot.
You just beat up.
Yeah, it's a terrible position. Like the NFL lifespan of a running back is like 6 years, I think. Like
really?
Average. Yeah. Obviously there's guys that way outlast that, but like probably the median would be. Todd, I have no idea where Corolla is going. No clue.
Yeah.
I have not heard anything. Yeah, I don't know. No idea. But yeah, good to go.
All right.
Are we ready to rock and roll?
Yeah.
And get the heck out of here?
Yeah, let's do.
I got some stuff for you today. On this day in 1848, what is today? July 19th. The first U.S. Women's Rights Convention was held in Seneca Falls, New York.
What year?
1848.
Okay.
1913, on this day, Billboard published the earliest known top 10 bestsellers for songs. Melinda's Wedding Day by Byron Harlan and Arthur Collins is number 1. Never even heard of it, but it's just interesting because I always use Billboard when I do the music. On this day in 1969, Apollo 11 goes into moon orbit for the first time. On this day in 1983, the first 3-dimensional reconstruction of a human head in a CT is published. So in a CAT.
Wow.
CT scan, right?
Right.
CAT scan.
Yeah.
On this day in 2018, Airbus Beluga XL, painted to look like the whale, makes its first flight, landing in Blagnac, France.
Wow.
It actually looked like a whale too. I like looking at it.
I think isn't that the Airbus that has a gigantic bubble?
Yeah. Airbus Beluga.
Yeah.
All right. This is terrible, but I had to go with them. Yeah, right. Todd said, Wyoming's playing in Hawaii this year. Maybe Arnie will take you. Yeah, right. That'd be dope. Okay, so the number 1 movie in America, 1992 on this day, Honey, I Blew Up the Kid. Remember that stupid movie, Honey, I Shrunk the Kid? This is like the sequel. Rick Moranis, like, really, man? Like, who even watched those?
Oh, boy.
Like, did anybody watch those movies?
Yeah.
Not me. Quote for the day: for every minute you're angry, you lose 60 seconds of happiness. Ralph Waldo Emerson. For every minute you are angry, you lose 60 seconds of happiness. Boom. Well, get off of there. There we go.
All righty.
That's all we got. We'll be back Thursday.
Thank you, Eastern Oregon. Appreciate you watching.